Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coming Down. This is Matthew. I'm joined here by my co-host, Nathan.
Hey.
We are pre-recording this episode because... we're pre-recording this intro because my birthday's coming up. We're both working a lot. It's the holidays, so...
Yeah, we are taking time off, but lucky for you, dear listener, you still get an episode.
Right? So this week is Volume 2 in our ongoing series on Raves. And it's one of my favorite personal stories about just raves in general, and y'all are gonna hear it. It's a bit of a doozy.
Yeah, this one's great. I mean, you heard my whole story of raves, and this is just a snippet out of Matthew's whole rave stories. So, yeah, this one's great.
Yeah, I think I've got a flyer or two that relate to this, so we'll put those up in the show notes as well as any other kind of raver cruft that we can dig up.
Oh, and not to give away the punchline, but there was a news article on this.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll hunt that down.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find that in the archives somewhere.
Yeah, because we actually kind of want to prove that this really happened.
Right. Yeah, I might even just hit up the library and see if I can get a printout of the actual, surely they have that on microfiche, right?
I mean, yeah. If it's not on the internet, there's an archive somewhere.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, so do you want to talk about our special deal for our listeners?
Oh, yeah. So we are going to get some more marketing stuff out there. We are going to get some more Patreon stuff out there. But we wanted to just jump ahead and do something really cool. So you remember way back when we talked about Batman's dick?
I certainly do.
All right. So we got a second copy of that comic book in the house. It's called Batman Damned. It's issue number 1. The first run has the legendary Bruce Wayne dong,
the infamous dong.
Yeah, and but then subsequent printings of that cut that out, and so the first printing is kind of valuable. I think it's worth $50 or $60 online or something. Anyway, we're gonna give away a copy, and all you have to do is retweet this episode. And if we see the retweet, we're gonna put your name in a hat, and then we'll draw it, and someone will win this. And we don't have very many followers, so you stand a pretty good fucking chance.
Right? I mean, the math is in your favor.
Yep, and if you're not on Twitter, why not join the most toxic platform on the internet?
Exactly.
You know?
Side note, if you want to avoid the toxicity on Twitter, there's a lot of really great cat photos.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I started. It was just comedians and cats.
Yep.
And then I made the stupid decision of following politicians.
Bad idea. I did the same thing.
Yeah. Which, it's good to stay informed, but at the same time, there's a lot of that noise while I scroll through Twitter.
Oh yeah, a lot of bad feeling in the belly.
Yeah.
But that said, if you're on Twitter and you want to give us a retweet, that Batman penis could be yours.
Could be yours. You'd be cradling it in your hands in the very near future.
Oh yeah, so think about it.
Yeah, so there you go. Happy New Year. A present from us to you.
Exactly. And I'm guessing so that'll be coming out in the first episode in January, if I'm not mistaken.
No, this will be, crap. I don't have a calendar.
Well, fuck it. It'll be the next episode after this one.
This comes out the day after Christmas.
Okay.
But before New Year. So,
okay. Cool.
Be safe on New Year.
Yeah.
Also.
Absolutely. And without further ado, let's get to housekeeping.
Yeah, totally.
If you want to contact us, that's going to be on Twitter. So yeah, get on Twitter, guys. Yeah. Get your Batman damned. Come on now.
Right.
That's going to be @ComingDownPod. You can also email us, comingdownpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you, whether you love us or hate us. And if you want to get on the show, that's how you should contact us. You can find links to all of our platforms on the mothership. It's comingdownpod.com. All the show notes are going to be there as well. You can find the flyers for at least one of these parties on there, as well as any photographic evidence of a certain phenomenon that we will not mention. The platforms that we're on are Spotify. That's
dude, check that one out.
Yeah,
it's new, but it's really good.
It's sweet. Also Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, And, give us a rating on Stitcher. And if you would like, because that could possibly help us out. And if you're so inclined, maybe Apple too, but apparently we don't care about that anymore.
Yep. Apparently nobody cares about it anymore. Apparently it's all fucked up. So.
Apple certainly doesn't care about it, so,
no.
There's that. But yeah, without any further ado, this is Raves Volume 2. Enjoy.
I
also kind of like the idea
yelling at the cat. Okay.
I also kind of like the idea of us being like maybe a little more loosey-goosey when we're doing the intros.
Yeah.
Just not for any particular reason, but just because it amuses me.
Yeah, definitely. Right, because the intros should just be having fun and joking around a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, totally. All right, cool, man. Well, tell me a story.
All right. So, we've already kind of done this this very long, in-depth rave episode, and by no means did we do more than scratch the surface. So,
it's true. I told pretty much my rave history, my 3-week adventure into the rave world, and then we kind of. went off. That was fun.
Into some interesting conversation, but we really like. I'm not saying that this needs to be like volume 2. This could be like part 2 of 2. But there's a lot of rave stories to be told. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just saying, like maybe this is volume 2, maybe this is part 2 of 2. Who knows?
Okay.
But just to set the stage here. I went to my first rave in 96 in Mount Shasta. And there's probably a story there. But the story that I want to tell today is actually much later in time.
Hold on, I'm going to stop you right now. We had that one episode where we could hear the fucking washing machine in the background. So I am going to turn this fan off. Because it doesn't sound like it's loud, but we're going to hear it. If we could hear a washing machine from a floor away,
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
That's fine.
We'll just get we'll just get rid of the mild hum in the background.
The less fucking filtering that we have to do later on, the better, sir.
Totally. Yeah. So, okay, maybe blah, blah, blah. Maybe we'll roll back in again.
Fuck it. I mean, that could all be lost, and I don't care. Yeah. I'm mostly just getting myself warmed up here. So, I went to my first rave in 96, and this is after doing a lot of internet research and wondering what the fuck raves were about. God, I almost feel like I should tell that story now, but fuck it. I mean, we got all the time in the world, right? Cool. So, I went to my first rave in 96. It was in Mount Shasta. I'd done a bunch of internet research. I was going to school in Ashland at the time. And I'd met these girls from San Francisco who'd been to a lot of parties and told me a lot about it. And I wish... Oh, Hyperreal. Hyperreal.org was the name of the website. And they had all this information on, how to do your drugs properly, how to not get dehydrated.
Oh, yeah.
I had all of the good info. God damn it.
I know. What's going to happen when we leave the windows
open?
Right?
It's always just the most fucking classic busted-ass cars. Anyway. So, I had all of the info front-loaded. I was not going to go into this situation unarmed. I was... gonna dance my ass off, get high as fuck, and have a great time and not fuck it up. And I don't remember exactly how I found out about it. I'm guessing one of the girls from San Francisco told me about it, and they were like, yo, this is legit. If you want to go to your first party, this is the one that you should go to. And I was like, all in.
Yeah.
I had my fucking velvet pants. I had my fucking weird hologram geometric fucking polo.
Yeah.
You know, it was tasteful, but very fucking psychedelic nonsense. Anyway, so we're all in the car. We're heading down there. I've got LSD. We fucking dose like right before we head in. And Genesis Juice from Eugene is there. They're like this classic hippie fucking collective that makes unpasteurized, unfiltered juice just straight from the fruit. And even after the law changed that said that you couldn't sell unpasteurized stuff, they just kept doing it until they couldn't pay the fines anymore. Anyway, they're there.
Wild.
Making smoothies. There's all of these musicians who are playing along with the DJs, and it's not just some wook who fucking dragged his drum in. You know, it's like skilled musicians who are friends with the DJ, who are playing along with like the kind of cool down-tempo, like tribal house that's happening in the beginning.
Sweet. Upstairs,
there's a down-tempo like chill room that's playing break beats and trip-hop and stuff.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is awesome. And
wait, so it's Mount Shasta, but it was in a building?
Okay, so there's a town called Mount Shasta.
Oh, there is.
That is
there
at the foot of the mountain.
Okay.
Nowhere near the lake. Like I was really confused. I thought
yeah.
that Lake Shasta and Mount Shasta were sort of the same thing. Lake Shasta is way the fuck away.
Yeah, it is.
But the town of Mount Shasta, I mean, it's right there. You can just look out and see the mountain. And it was a full moon night.
Such a gorgeous mountain, too.
Oh, incredible.
Every time I do that drive down to northern Cali, it's just so cool.
Right? And there was a perfect cloud cap when we're driving down there. And, like, I don't remember who brought it up, but somebody was like, oh, you know, Indian superstitions about, like, the spirits, and, like, some people think it's aliens hiding in a cloud. And we're just like, oh, portentous night, you know? Yeah. And so anyway, like, I'm coming up on the acid, and I'm learning how to dance to this music. You know, I've definitely danced to electronic music before, but... not on this much acid, not with this many people, and like I'm really vibing off everybody, and like everyone's just kind of looking around and having a great time, and like, you know, just kind of pumping everybody else up, and like I start doing this thing where I'm like swirling my hands and making these balls of light that I can see, and I'm like kind of flipping them to other people, and they're catching them, and they're throwing them back, and I'm like lobbing 3-pointers at the DJ, and at first they weren't doing anything, but I got high enough, or maybe the DJ was just like that in tune that like occasionally my 3-pointers would have an effect on the music. And you know, it was just everything was connected. Like fucking I had a great smoothie, like cool things happened in the chill room. It was the perfect first party.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And I tell you what, I thought that every single rave had to be like that. I was like, this is how it should be done.
You set a pretty high bar.
Oh my god, the bar could not have been higher.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm a convert. I am ready. All I want to do is make this happen again. And so I start doing my research. I find out there's a party happening in Portland like a month and a half later or something like that. Or maybe 2 weeks later. I don't remember. Anyway, I mentioned it to one of these girls from San Francisco, and the reaction was not what I was looking for. She's kind of like, oh, yeah. I mean, that's a party.
That's a party.
I'm like, well, I mean, isn't it going to be cool? Well, I mean, maybe. It could be. But, I mean, I've never heard of those guys, and...
Oh, yeah, so these girls, like, knew probably, like, the producers had, you know, some clout or some, you know...
Oh, yeah, like, and I wish I could remember what the production company was that put it together, but I think it was called Full Moon Gatherings or something like that, and, like, yeah, they'd just been doing, like, full moon parties.
Yeah.
Really small ones.
Cool.
Forever, and it was mostly word of mouth, so, like... So lucky that I got to go to that.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
And so I've got this flyer for a party in Portland. It's at the whatever the name of the horse race track is, Portland Meadows. And I think that was another tip off to these women that like, oh, it's at the Meadows. That can't be anything other than just a commercial fucking cash grab, you know. And so One of the guys who was in the same dorm was going up to Portland that weekend, and he's like, hey, I could give you a ride. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, that would be rad. Do you want to go? And he was like,
You're the only one who wants to go this fucking rave.
And he's like, but dude, I have this old pair of Jeancos. Like, do you want them? Like, they're at my parents' house. I'll pick them up for you before we go to the party. And I was like, dude, Jeancos? Fuck yeah.
96. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
And so, and that was the other thing is my buddy Sean was staying with his grandma that night. And so he was like, look, if you want me to drive you back down, that's totally cool. And I'm like, oh, perfect. And so, it all goes down. I'm at the party.
So you flew solo to this one?
Yeah.
No one came with you?
Yeah, I was by myself at this party. I show up and I'm like, okay, oh no, that's right. What's her name? I think her name was, no, can't remember her name. She was there just because she was like, I'm going to be in Portland. I might as well go.
Okay.
And, I bought some I think maybe it was through her. I don't remember. But she was just kind of like, I don't even know if this is real, but
oh, man.
Here you go. And I'm like, cool. And it was not real.
Oh, no.
And then I bumped into two
Was
dudes.
it a real drug? Like, was it just speed?
It was probably a baby aspirin. Like,
bullshit?
I have no fucking idea. I didn't get high at all.
Okay.
It was probably an allergy pill for all I fucking know. Anyway, I bump into these two dudes that I know from Bend that, like, are deep heads, and they're there selling... Fuck, I don't remember. It was like Foxy or some other designer drug. I don't remember what it was, but it was it was in like this ginseng stuff, like this ginseng honey, and they were basically just hooking up hippies that they knew with this stuff. And I was like, can I do some of that? And they're like, didn't you already take some bunk E? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, dude, who knows what's in that? You don't want to like mix it up.
Oh, mix it with this like experimental drug shit.
And I'm like, oh, you're probably right. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, tell you what, man, like, do you want to just hang out with us tonight? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And they're like, cool. Let's get out of here. I'm like, oh, all right. And they're like, yeah, we got a fucking camper out in the parking lot. Like, do you want to smoke a lot of hash? And I'm
nice.
like, yes. That actually sounds vastly preferable to what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, cool, man. Like, we got an extra sleeping bag. If you just want to fucking crash out, like, that's what we're going to do.
Huh.
And I'm like, well, so you guys don't want to hang out at this party? And they're like, I mean, do you? And I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, it wasn't the magical time of the first run.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not really having fun. The music's like, eh.
Yeah.
And at the first one, the music was like fucking on fucking point, and I'm just kind of like not feeling it. I'm like, that's weird. I wonder why I'm not feeling it. And like,
yeah.
with hindsight, it's all fucking obvious that it was just a commercial fucking bullshit rave with whatever kind of local DJs they could get together, just trying to capitalize on the wave that's going through America at this time,
Yeah.
And so, long story short, because we will have these stories at some point in time, but it's not relevant to what we're doing today. Because, like, my God, dude, I raved for years.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't do the 3-week excursion.
No, like, if we're going to do this chronologically, we'll be here all fucking day.
Yeah.
But I figure we might as well get, like, the first 2 out of the way, because they really set the stage for what follows, And so, after all of that, like, I drop out of college, I move back to Bend, I go to a rainbow gathering.
Wait, so wrap up that second night. So you just went back, smoked...
Oh, no, thank you, yes. Oh, so we absolutely need to wrap that up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. So, we go back to their camper. It's like a dolphin camper, if you're familiar with that. It's like a thing that goes on the back of a pickup, kind of, but there's no back of the pickup. It's just the front of a pickup sticking out of a camper, kind of.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know what
It's
you're
got
talking about.
wheels in the back of the... Anyway.
Yeah.
But there is like a bunk over the top of the pickup, and then there's like a seat going down the side that folds out into another bunk, and like a stove on the other side and a fridge. And there's no heat in there, so they just turn the stove on. And we're hanging out, doing exactly what they said, smoking a lot of hash.
Nice.
And I mean, they were sober apart from THC.
Oh, they weren't doing their weird designer drug?
No, and like my memory's cloudy. Like they might have just showed up to see if like they knew anybody there to like maybe get high and have fun.
I see.
But they realized it was Garbo, and so they might have even been just selling bunk. Like, just being like, here, buy this ginseng honey that I claim has designer drugs in it. Like,
God, right?
I don't even know. And, like, memory does not serve.
Yeah.
These men were drug dealers.
Yeah.
That is how I knew them.
Yeah.
So I assume that is why they were at this party. But I no longer honestly remember what their activity was. I just remember that they had some weird fluid that had ginseng. It's like royal jelly or some shit. And that might have just been incidental. Like they were just kind of like, here, have some of this health food product. But that's like the only thing that I remember them doing that night, apart from lots of hash. So, you know, it's been like 20 years.
Yeah,
Forgive me. Totally. Anyway, so yeah, we smoke all this fucking hash, and like Dylan or Cyrus fucking passes out in the bunk up above the fucking pickup bay. And then me and Dylan just kind of did like the head to foot thing where like my feet are next to his head and vice versa on this really narrow bunk, and just kind of like turn our backs to each other and just passed out. Because, I mean, we were fucking 20 years old. We could sleep anywhere.
Yeah, totally.
And woke up when the sun came up. Dylan actually was friends with Sean, knew how to get to his grandma's house, like, dropped me off.
Right on.
Sean was like, oh, you're hanging out with Dylan? That's cool. How are you? And, like, you know, drove me back to Ashland, and I'm wearing my brand new Jinkos, and, or my brand new used Jinkos, and telling him about the fucking shitty, weird night that I had.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I don't know, man, those raves seem weird. But, you know, fast forward a little while later, and Sean's fucking in it with me. But anyway, so that was like my quick turnaround.
Right. So you had like the best night of your life followed by like a pretty mediocre,
kind of shitty night. Yeah. You know, where I wasted $20 on nothing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, like I realized that very quickly that this thing can be whatever you make it into, and it really depends on who's putting it on. And so then a friend of mine named Spencer, who actually put on the first electronic music party that we know of in Bend, he'd never even been to a rave before, but just kind of threw what he thought a rave would be like.
The equivalent of.
We didn't have any turntables. We just had a CD player. Like, when one song stopped, we put on another song.
Oh, so you just threw a party.
Yeah, but it wasn't called a rave.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, man, and there's all kinds of other details I can get into about that, about how the cops thought it was like gang activity and stuff. But
God.
Holy shit, we're like, the can of worms here is huge.
Right.
I'm trying to get to this specific story. So
okay.
Let's move on.
Try not to derail too hard.
Right. So my friend Spencer has moved to Santa Cruz, and he's been going to really fucking good underground parties in the Bay Area. You know, like 500 to 2,000 person parties that are mostly trance and jungle oriented, with a little bit of house. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. It was all three. And breakbeats too. Don't ignore the musical styles, but there was a lot of trance, because that's what was going on.
Pretty popular back then.
But I mean, like we definitely tried to mix it up as much as possible. And you know, he invites me to this party that he's decided to throw in conjunction with all of these cool underground heads that he's met, and he's calling the party Warmth. Cool. Because he just wants it to be like this really intimate, small, fucking cool experience. And he invites all of his best friends from Bend, and we got rolled out of our fucking skulls and had the time of our fucking life, man.
Nice. Where did he throw it?
San Francisco.
Well, no, like what kind of building?
It was god damn it, it was like a little venue.
Oh, okay.
You know,
cool.
It had a couple of different rooms. It was small though. I mean, I want to say it was like 300 people max, maybe closer to 150.
Chill. That sounds great.
And you know, like my buddy Chris is making out with a girl he's never met, and she's putting barrettes in his hair. You know, like it's fucking magical. And so, you know, that made me realize that, yeah, actually, that first thing that I did, that does exist elsewhere.
Yeah, you can recreate that.
Make these things happen.
Yeah.
And so we did that for a while, or Spencer did that for a while, and I tried to help him as much as possible.
So he became like full on promoter, like party thrower.
Yeah, and you know, we would actually go to other parties in the Bay Area with flyers for his parties, and you know, hand them out to kids, and like we got into a bunch of parties for free just by being like, hey, you know this guy, right? And they'd be like, oh yeah, you guys are promoting for him? We're like, yeah. They're like, get in here.
Sweet.
Like, cool. And I mean, that was how I started sober raving, was because it's like, we can't fucking just do drugs at all of these.
Yeah,
you know?
like every weekend.
Yeah. And so, well, especially like multiple nights, you know, like then you're just wasting your money at that point.
So you were living down in Bay Area then?
We were living in Sacramento. And drive into the Bay on the weekends.
So this is when you lived in Sacramento.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we fast forwarded a bit here.
Yeah. And just in that.
Yeah,
you recently traveled to Sacramento.
Yeah, exactly.
And you brought up living there. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for real. Yeah. So this is when I was living in Sacramento, and when we were partying in the Bay, and so that's where I really cut my teeth and like kind of figured out what the simplest formula for a good party is.
Yeah.
And, you know, we went to LA after that, and we did some really small stuff in LA. Ended up getting a DJ who was David Lynch's personal assistant.
What?
And he was in charge of making the flyer. God, this is probably going to be another story at some point, but just touching on this, he was in charge of making the flyer, and it was just because David Lynch had Photoshop, and he figured he could use David's computer to make the flyer. And it's like 2 weeks out, and he's freaking out, like slamming doors, doing David Lynch's laundry. And he is like, hey man, what's your deal? Why are you so agitated today? Oh, I'm playing this party in 2 weeks, and I'm supposed to make the flyer, and I haven't even started it. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, well, what do you have to do for it? Well, I just need to make an image in Photoshop and put all the names on it. I love Photoshop. Why don't I make the flyer for you?
Whoa! So David Lynch made a fucking rave flyer for you guys?
And I was playing the chill room, so my name is on a flyer because David Lynch put it there.
What? You know how to DJ?
A little.
I mean,
enough to do a chill room.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's a little aside about
what was
my
your
time
DJ
in LA.
name?
Hypnosis.
Nice.
But HIPGNOSIS.
Yeah, right. Isn't that your moto name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my internet handle for the longest time.
Nice.
I don't know why I keep using it, but here we are.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, Mount Shasta, San Francisco, LA.
Wow, so you just like worked your way through California,
right,
like raving it up.
Right. And then, you know, my time in LA comes to a close. I move back to Bend. And that's right when my friends in Bend have started throwing parties. Like I've already been to one on Thanksgiving that was called Thanks.
Nice.
Definitely going to be a story about that one because the E got mismeasured that night.
Oh God.
The whole town got rolled to fuck. It was amazing. Anyway, they'd been through. I think they'd thrown one or two other parties while I was gone. And I came back, and we'd just gotten Laserport. The laser tag arena.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking still had all the blacklight fixtures. They gave us the sound system.
Wait, so you all bought this place?
No, we just got to throw parties in it because it's been sitting empty for years.
Oh shit! So it was a dead business.
Yeah, we used a Sawzall, cut up the maze, made it into a fucking dance floor, but kept all the giant space murals and shit.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god, it was amazing. So
see, those kinds of places are the best. There's I actually ended up not getting into the party in Colorado Springs, but they threw a really cool party at closed down Kmart. And
oh hell yeah!
Yeah, and like you just imagine it's just like giant open room, and there's no neighbors or anything, so you can just get wild as hell.
Right.
A buddy of mine went and he had a blast, but it ended up selling out. We drove down there, and there were packed, and they
Holy
didn't
shit.
let us in. So
Crazy.
Or I think they let him in because he had somehow had a ticket or was on a list because it was his birthday or something. And he was like, I'll be fine, and like just ran off into the party, and like the rest of us were like, oh fuck it, dude, let's go home.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
He hits me up like the next day in the afternoon and was like, yep, that was pretty good.
Rad.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna have to take a quick pause here.
And we're back.
And we're back.
All
okay,
right.
So we're partying at Laserport. We did a number of those. We brought some DJs up from LA and San Francisco. Lots of fun. And we developed a pretty big following in Bend. And the kind of the head promoter, the guy who was sort of the catalyst that brought us all together, his name is Carl. You've met him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I went to Stanhope with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great guy. And his birthday is in August, and so we had planned this big party, big outdoor party that we were going to get Moon Tribe from LA.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, they were a huge inspiration for us. You know, they're a trance crew. They like to do outdoor stuff in the desert. You know, just really positive kind of vibe.
Tertiary, had tertiary knowledge of Moon Tribe back in the day, yeah.
Good dudes. And so we had set up this date in August on this ranch outside of Prineville called the Crooked River Ranch. Amazing, beautiful spot right on the gorge of the Crooked River.
Uh-huh.
And prior to this, I think it's, the party's in August, and I think it's either June or July, and we're going to a party outside of Portland in the National Forest called, I just forgot. Galactic Tribes.
Okay.
It's called Galactic Tribes.
It's a good name for a party.
It's thrown by a collective called Hive.
Okay.
I think it was HYVE. And we considered them to be the closest to our collective in terms of just overall intention and musical taste, and just, their vibe was a lot like what we were doing, and really liked their parties, had a great time at all of them. And we were really looking forward to this one. And it was, it featured a really techno-heavy list. And, I mean, techno is one of those terms in electronic music that gets thrown around a lot. This was definitely techno. It wasn't just random electronic music. It was that specific style of electronic music that happens a lot in Germany, that we know of as techno.
Right.
And we were really excited for this.
Yeah.
So
now this was the party that they were throwing.
They were throwing in July. The August party at Crooked River Ranch is in the future. There's a reason why I'm saying it up like this.
I see.
So we go to this party in Portland, and I'm with my friend Stacy. She's driving her brother Doug's Volkswagen bus, the camper bus, and we got a crew with us in multiple different cars. I think there's at least 8 or 9 of us there, and we all get there. We all meet up. We're real excited. And nobody really had any drugs of their own. We just kind of showed up with money, expecting that we could find what we needed.
Find them, yeah.
And I mean, that was not.
That's always a fine plan.
Well, and it wasn't sketchy back then. Especially at those particular parties, we just knew that either there would be someone that we knew or just someone cool who knew what was up. And we knew enough about the stuff that we were taking that it was unlikely that we were going to get ripped off. So, I don't remember if our intention was to find LSD that night or if it was just kind of like, let's just see what comes up.
Yeah.
But we definitely found some good liquid, and we're at the techno stage. We gave the dude our money, and I think it was like $5 for 3 drops of liquid or something ridiculous like that.
It's a great deal.
Yeah. I mean, it was cheap as fuck back then.
Yeah,
and so the dude is putting drops on my friend Stacy's hand, and he goes 1, 2, 3. She's got these 3 discrete little drops on her hand. She licks them off. I put my hand out. He goes 1, 2, and then all the lights go out. because it was like one of those like drop moments in the music, and they had the lights sequenced intelligently, and so it goes dark for about 1 or 2 seconds, right when he's doing the third drop, and the lights come back on, and I'm still holding my palm out, and it is completely filled with liquid LSD, just a puddle of it sitting in my hand.
Oh yeah, I remember that. People would call that like
puddling,
getting puddled or whatever. Yeah.
And so I look at the LSD in my hand, and I look at the man's eyes, and he just kind of shrugs his shoulders. And I look at my hand, and I look at him, and he smiles, and he nods his head. And I shrug my shoulders, and I lift my hand to my mouth, and I not only put all of that liquid LSD in my mouth, I sucked on the palm of my hand to make sure I got it all.
Because that needed to happen.
Because, I didn't want to miss any of that hundreds of hits of LSD.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't hundreds, but
No, but probably like 30 or something, right?
It was more than 10. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so the thing is
that like the most LSD you've ever done in one sitting?
I'm certain it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. The most LSD I've ever done in my life. And I don't know if it was just that like we'd gotten really high, like, smoking weed before that, or if we'd been drinking. I don't think that we drank it all that night. I'm pretty sure it was just smoking weed. But I was so blasé about it. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to trip.
This will be fine.
It wasn't like, shit, man, you need to fucking buckle up right now because, like, wow, you just took more LSD than you've ever fucking seen in your life.
Yeah.
And so, I don't remember how long it took. I want to say, 45 minutes or whatever. Long enough for me to fucking forget everything that had happened, basically. And I start feeling weird. And
that's good, man. Like, if you start freaking out about it or whatever.
Trust me. It went the way that it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
Because, if I'd been focusing on that, it could have gotten even weirder than it got.
Yeah, totally.
So,
no, you just had to ride that out.
Right? And so I'm at the techno stage still, and, I'm starting to feel real weird and, a little off kilter. And I'm like, I don't know if it's the lights or if it's the music, but something's a little
It's definitely
off,
the lights. It's definitely the lights.
I think I'm going to go to the other stage and just see what's going on. And I think I got about halfway there. Maybe I got all the way there and, was like, no, shit's even weirder here. And was like, man, I should probably find Stacy. Because it occurs to me that, if I'm feeling this weird, perhaps I should check on her.
Yeah.
Because, and this is another weird thing about my thought process, is Stacy's taken a lot of fucking drugs. She knows how to fucking handle herself. I don't want to say that she's taken more than I have at this point, because I don't want to indict her in any way.
Yeah.
But she definitely started doing drugs before I did. Not only chronologically, but was younger in age than I was when I started. So, don't know why I was worried about her. Girl can handle her shit.
And she took 3?
She took 3.
Yeah.
But it's not occurring to me.
It's still not clicking
that
with you.
The dosage was any different, And so I'm just like, shit, I should find Stacy. I'm worried about her.
This almost points to you being maybe a little burned out at this point. If you're just lapping up puddles of acid and just kind of not worried about any of it.
Damn. You hit the nail right on the head. Yeah.
If that's not clicking in a certain way, maybe
fairly indicative. Yeah, I must say, of all the shit I've
maybe
been
at this point you've been raving for a minute.
Yeah. Indeed. So I start searching for Stacy, and in the meantime, my reality starts to become far more disjointed and fluid at the same time.
Yeah.
And in the span of God knows how long, but probably a very short amount of time, I forget that I'm looking for anyone and just start seeing different figures from mythology and history.
Hell yeah.
Superimposed over the other people at this party.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And the moment becomes timeless.
Right?
And I'm dancing with Shiva.
Yes.
Shiva is a woman in this picture. Shiva also becomes Kali and is kind of going back and forth.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then she gets a little fresh with me. And I'm like, oh, really? And I start groping her a little bit. And time passes. And I'm not sure how much time. I'm sure a lot of other things happen.
Probably. Or maybe nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
seriously
3 minutes later.
It could have been me standing perfectly still for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But the next relevant memory that I have after getting fresh and having a groping dance with Shiva is just kind of recognizing that everyone at this party is really high and they're all creating all this energy that I can see.
For sure.
And that energy is all flowing into me. I have become a conduit for all of the conscious energy at this party. Without intending to. And it's all shooting through me and up into space. I can see this happen.
Oh, and this is an outdoor party?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I mean, like, we're out in the forest outside of Portland. Like, you can see all the stars. It's fucking incredible. And I start just thinking about the fact that I'm channeling all of this energy. And I'm like, man, I should do something with this. Like, here I am just being a funnel for all of this. Like, let's do something. I'm like, well, what should we do? And a vision appears in front of me. I'm looking at this gravel hill. We're like in a gravel pit, basically. I'm looking at this gravel hill, but it turns into a basalt cliff face with juniper and sage growing on it. And I'm like, oh shit, that's the Crooked River.
Oh no.
I'm like, that's where we should send all this fucking energy. Let's send it to Crooked River Ranch next month in August. Done!
That's crazy that you like even could think about that. Be like, oh, plans for the future?
Like I said, a vision appeared to me.
Yeah.
And it made me think of doing that. So I mean,
that's
like,
funny.
Subconscious mind, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just start funneling all of this energy toward the vision that I was having. And like kind of tied it off, and I'm like, there we go. We did it.
Sweet.
And I keep dancing and stuff, and then I see what I'm pretty sure is just the sun appearing on the horizon. But it occurs to me that aliens can see the energy that I've been shooting into space. And that maybe what I'm seeing is actually them coming.
Shit.
To be where we are.
Oh, shit.
And then I see cop lights through the trees.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, fucking shit. The cops saw the aliens.
Wait, so you recognize them as the cops?
Yep.
But you're still working in this alien thing.
Oh, yeah, because how could they not see all of that energy shooting into space? Am I right?
That's why the cops got called, was because of your energy.
No. That's why the aliens showed up.
Well, that's why the aliens were coming.
And the cops got called simply due to the fact that there were so many goddamn aliens in this particular part of the forest.
Wait, so you thought the aliens were already there? They had already landed.
Like just hovering and
Okay.
like observing the rad shit that was happening at this party. You know? They're just like, man, this dude, like, he's got everybody just... And they're all here. This is awesome. And so I'm like, oh, fuck. The cops are here. They see the aliens. What are we going to do? Like, we got to get the fuck out of here. And so I'm, like, starting to have this slow motion freak out. And, like, I really got to pee. But I don't have time for that. And I'm like chewing on my necklace and like fucking having a hard time.
Oh, man.
And then my friend Stacy walks up. Who I've been looking for all night.
Right.
In my head.
Right.
And she's like, buddy, are you okay? And I'm like, holy shit, there you are. And she's like, huh? And I'm like, oh my God, I've been looking for you all night. She's like, dude, we've all been right here. And she points at the fucking gravel hill that I hallucinated on earlier.
Oh, man.
And there's literally all of my friends sitting in a line smiling at me.
They've just been watching you do, like, whatever the fuck it was you were doing. Like...
She's like, dude, we've just been keeping an eye on you all night because you were having a really good time. And I'm like, oh, man. Like, did you not? And she's like, no. Remember? Like, I only took 3 hits. You had that big puddle. And I'm like, that's right. And she's like, yeah, dude, you've been gone all night. And I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now. I gotta pee really bad. And she's like, dude, go pee.
Wait, so were the cops actually there?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There were some cops because, dude, some weird shit happened in the parking lot that night. Like, some people took either the wrong drugs or too many of a drug and, like, really separated with fucking reality. And, like...
Apparently it was the night for it, dude.
They were, like, there was maybe a little bit of self-harm that happened at some point that night. And that's... The cops were actually there in a protective...
They weren't busting the party.
No, they were just there to make sure that nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
And, you know, thank God.
Yeah. Awesome.
And no, the aliens, if they were there, did not make their presence known, as far as I am aware. Once I took a leak, all of that weird stress that I was feeling went away.
Yeah.
And I saw that all my friends were there, and I was like, dude, sweet, I'm gonna dance with my friends now.
You just got through that, like, ultimate, like, peak or whatever. Yeah.
Like the life and death, oh shit, it's all on the line, and then we're good.
Yeah. Oh, man, that is wild.
And so, you know, slowly the sun comes up, everything dies down, Stacy kind of trundles me off into the woods, and we're looking for the van. We get in the van, and she's already folded down the back seat into a bed, and it's full of blankets and pillows and stuffed animals.
Nice.
And she gets me all tucked in there just in time for the crazy, naked, screaming woman to fucking plant herself in the middle of the road and start going off about shit that wasn't real. And I'm just like, oh man, it's probably a good thing the fucking cops showed up.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it sounds like there's some serious overindulgence going on there.
Yeah,
right?
like I don't know if it was just like some really strong mushrooms or some strong L or like an E imbalance or like I actually did know the story at one point in time, but it's lost to me now.
Well,
but because I had a friend who actually was like at ground zero for all of this shit and told me like what went down, and I was like, holy, like there was so much weird shit going on at this party.
Yeah.
So, you know, we drive out of the woods. Stacy drives to the beach.
Nice.
Like I'm just kind of lost in this beautiful, blissful fucking fugue for God knows how long, and then we're at the beach.
Nice.
And I'm running around in the sand, and I'm still high as fuck.
Yeah.
And tired. And eventually we get back to Eugene, and my life goes on, and I forget about this until a weekend in August. And there we are at the Crooked River Ranch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right.
Moon Tribe shows up.
Nice.
And starts playing records. And the sun goes down. Nobody's got any drugs.
Oh, weird.
It's a fucking sober party.
Just dry-ass party?
Except for one motherfucker who is on staff and dosed, like, right at sunset. And so, I don't remember what time of night it is. The sun's been down for a while. And this dude gets on the radio and says, okay, guys, I'm just going to admit that I took LSD tonight. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I should not have done this, but I need to know, is anyone else seeing the light in the sky? And so...
Wait, what do you mean on the radio? Like
we had walkie-talkies because he was working the parking lot.
Oh.
Like,
I see. Right.
You know, and like...
Oh, yeah, you guys are all, like, working this party.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so, you know, he's on the walkie-talkie saying, does anyone else see that light in the sky? I'm literally doing yoga in the field at this point, trying to stretch out and, like, wake myself up a little bit because I'm fucking sober and I'm on staff. And I'm actually about to do a shift in the parking lot. And I look up, and over the top of this butte is, like, this little smudge of light in the sky. And I'm thinking it kind of looks like when you're a ways away from a small town and you can kind of see the weird little glow that it makes. Like, there's no clouds, but you can just kind of see, like, the light pollution or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, isn't that Redmond or whatever? And they're like, dude, that's north of us. Redmond is to the south. Uh-huh. And I'm like, well, Madras. I'm like, no, Madras is actually in the opposite direction. It's to the east, and that's kind of in the west. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is that? Well, actually, that is the issue. What the fuck is that?
Holy shit.
And so I get on the radio, and I'm like, copy that. I am seeing the same light in the sky. We cannot confirm its origin. And so... yeah, like, there just starts to be this, like, kind of low-level buzz, like, hey, what the fuck is this? And I don't remember exactly how long after that, but a ripple comes out of the glow in the sky.
What?
Followed by another ripple, and another ripple. At perfect, timely intervals, there are waves of light now crossing the sky. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That did happen.
Okay.
But what happened first was a purple spire arose from the smudge.
What?
Of light. And we said, well, that's not normal. And, okay.
Like, it looked solid?
Just like a perfect little triangular spear of light.
Oh, but purple
light.
Okay.
That went about a quarter of the way across the sky above this smudge. And then about 180 degrees, or maybe 90 degrees from that, a green spire appears.
What?
And then the ripples start happening.
Okay.
And that's when we decided that we were seeing the Aurora Borealis in the middle of summer in Central Oregon.
Yep.
And
fuck. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. The DJs from Moon Tribe, Isaac actually told me this. He went back there to, like, just sit down behind the decks, and Brad turns to Petey and says, do you know how much flow we have right now? And then he matched the beats with the waves in the sky.
Whoa, that's cool.
We had a light show from nature.
Damn. Oh, that is fucking crazy.
Right? And then about 2 or 3 in the morning, somebody shows up with a bunch of E. And we all got rolled as fuck and danced underneath the fucking northern lights.
Damn. So they lasted, like, all night?
Oh, and they got more intense. I mean, like, the green spire and the purple spire were not the only colored lights that showed up. There was pinks and reds and oranges. Yeah. And
did anyone know this was coming?
Fuck no. And this is a total anomaly. This has never happened before or since that I know of.
Crazy.
And so the next day, you know, we're calling everyone that we know going, holy fucking shit. Why didn't you guys show up last night? We saw the northern lights. And they're like, God. You fucking weirdos were just high on drugs. You didn't see any fucking lights in the sky. Well, no, fuck you. I was sober most of the night, and I saw those lights before I took any drugs.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. 5 p.m. that day, full color fucking photograph on the front page of the Bulletin with a juniper tree in front of the northern lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man. That's fucking crazy.
Unbelievable.
Huh. Man. I I don't even know, man. That's fucking wild, dude.
I almost prefaced this story by saying what you're about to hear may sound like a fabrication, but I assure you every word of it is true, and I have witnesses who can back me up.
No, I believe you, yeah. Especially, I mean, hell, a newspaper article. Fuck, man. That's so crazy. I had no idea where you were going with that, where you're like, oh, here's some raves, these were happening. But then, like, wow, that's... What a fucking experience, man. Like,
blew my fucking mind, dude.
Just a totally unprecedented, unprepared fucking auroras just showing up in Oregon.
Right?
Like,
just happens to be on the night when we're all outside.
Well, and so what causes the auroras? It's like solar flares, right? Or is it?
It's magnetic interference in the upper atmosphere.
Okay, yeah, but it can be like coronal ejections and stuff that can like cause them. So they can be fairly predictable, right?
I guess. I honestly have done virtually zero research.
Yeah, I'm
what causes
gonna not
the phenomenon.
Pretend that I like totally know how it works. Yeah, I thought they were fairly predictable, but like Jesus Christ, that's insane.
Right.
That just means like, yeah, just weird cosmic things lined up right for like.
I'm saying
fucking. Yeah.
Like,
oh man, that is so weird.
I'm a pretty staunch atheist, and like I don't believe in any fucking hippy dippy bullshit, but I can't not tell that story.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, no, I mean that's incredible, and paired with like you having your crazy acid trip, channeling light and energy into the future, like that's pretty wild.
Shit happened, man. I'm telling you.
It's man, that is fucking crazy. All right, man. Like, do you have anything else to tack onto that? Like, I'm just like dumbfounded now.
Yeah, I don't even know how we pulled the taffy on that one. Like, I mean, like, there's so many other fucking rape stories that like fell in the timeline of that story. Like,
sure. Well, I think we save those for another one. I think this
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to call it, man. Like, Jesus, dude. That's so wild, man. Yeah, super, what a cool experience, man. Like,
absolutely.
I have yet to see the auroras, and let alone just, like, on a rando night, like, where you're not even ready for it.
I'm sure someone in Iceland has seen a DJ sync beats with lights in the sky.
Sure.
But, I mean, how many fucking people can say that they've seen that?
How many people are watching this happen and not putting it together, you know? Like, you're seeing colors and, like, light smudges and ripples, and you're like, what in the serious actual fuck?
The colors and the ripples were what, like, really tipped the scales. It was the smudge that was just like, how is there a weird smear of white light in the sky?
Yeah, but I think, like, I would just have a lot of time coming to that conclusion because I just wouldn't believe that it was actually happening. It's like, this doesn't happen here,
well, exactly.
You know?
I mean,
like, it can, I guess.
You hear of it happening maybe, like, the only places in the States, like, maybe in, like, the Great Lakes region.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's, like, Alaska and Canada, right?
Yeah, I've heard that Washington, like, northern Washington, has gotten a glimpse here and there.
That would make sense. I mean, fuck, if we can see it in Central Oregon in the goddamn summer, then you have to be able to see it.
But a lot of things got to line up right, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That's so wild, man.
Fucking A.
Well, fucking A, man. All right. All right, everyone. Roll that one around in your noggin for a minute. We'll call it there, though. All right, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening.